Hey, babe, welcome back to the Turned On Woman podcast. This is Lauren, your host, and this is the space where you turn on your energy so that you can truly be a match to the love, the relationship, the man that you desire. Because remember, it's not things in life that you want, as in the man or the money and all the other material things. It's actually the experience and the emotion of having that thing that you desire. So, since everything is energy and everything is emitting an energetic frequency, what you need to do in order to attract in order to manifest, in order to actualize the man, the love, and the relationship that you desire in your life is to match the frequency of what you want, the love, the joy, the happiness, all of that more often. You have to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. The representation of the energetic frequency that you want to be. This is why one of my favorite quotes is that life is an emotional game. It all comes down to how you are feeling. And the thing is that you have to change your dominant vibration. But here's the thing. Today is also going to be like one of the most important episodes that I ever put out, because today is the spring equinox. There is so much energy happening right now. Like, it is the middle of March and so much has happened this month. This month has like what they call like quantum leaping. It's just when like the results of the work that you've been doing just start pouring in because you have literally changed your frequency. And I am like feeling that. I had a TikTok blow up to, I think it's over 600,000 views at this point. It's crazy. Every time I get on TikTok, I have another 100 followers. I can't keep up at this point. And like, that's amazing. And it's so interesting because the whole TikTok was about that dating is for growth. And I think I've done an entire episode on here about dating being for growth. And so many people are resonating with that. And it's so important because this is not only a representation of the feminine energy that you want to embody in order to receive love, creating the energetic state of receiving, is because we detach from the outcome. We let go of the outcome when we are dating for growth. And that's so important because the only thing in life that is guaranteed is change. And we are literally here to evolve and to expand. The thing is consciousness is always evolving and expanding. And the way that we keep up with that is through our awareness of who we are being, so that we can constantly, if we're aware of who we are being now and we are aware of something that we want, we can then change ourselves in order to close that gap so that we can receive what we want to desire. Because receiving is perceiving that which you are the frequency of. Our world is so incredibly intelligently designed in a way for us to receive all that we want. But here's the thing. Our conditioning from survival mode, from growing up in a masculine society, on purpose, it is meant to take our power away. And this looks like having limiting beliefs. This looks like learning to earn love and, to be a certain way or live up to a certain beauty standard in order to be loved and accepted. And so we build these layers of conditioning that sit on top of our innate, true core frequency of love. Our souls came here as pure love and light. Like, that's who we are at our core. But through our conditioning, and I would even say not only just conditioning that we've had like in this lifetime, there could be conditioning from other lifetimes. We have conditioning from our lineage. So, when we are in our mother's womb, we also take on her energetic frequency from the time that we were in our womb. So however your mother's pregnancy was or her relationship to your father was, like, we're taking on either the love that she experienced, or even like the struggle and the anxiety and the pain or whatever it was that she was feeling at that time. We take that on as well as part of our nervous system because we were growing inside of our mother's womb. And then I forget what book or resource it's from, but a lot of people talk about we carry genes and genetic imprints from 7 generations back. So thinking back to like all the way back to grandmother's mother, all of that, and the world that they grew up in and what society was like and how women were treated, we're also carrying that as well. So the thing is that I have really come in to realizing lately is how powerful our feminine energy is. I've done like a whole like 360 circle back to like where I started, which is so funny because like 3 years ago, I was preaching pleasure coaching and like pleasure in all areas of life because my life really started to change when I finally started to embrace more pleasure, more of what felt good. And it was funny because I did that at a time where a lot of coaches were coming into like their sexual awakening. And so my work was getting mixed up with like sex coaches. And it's not to say that they're not really that separate because everything is connected. But I was talking about the power of the energetic pleasure and in our lives, not just in sex, but our pleasure also is built from our sexual energy. And so it is connected, like it's not separate, but I also was not a coach specializing in helping you achieve an orgasm, which is a beautiful thing. And there are coaches that specialize in that. So I love that. And so the thing is I have come back to recognizing and realizing the power of pleasure and the reason why our feminine energy gets so stifled. Now, I first want to note that feminine energy everyone has it. It's not a way that you look. It is absolutely not a way that you look. It is a way that you are being. It is an energetic frequency. It is the pleasure, the joy, the play, the love. It's a high vibration. It's like pleasure for pleasure's sake. Again, it's letting go of this outcome. It's not result oriented. It's like, I'm going to do this because it feels really fucking good. Like today I was laying out by my pool, which I don't do often, but I am like swearing to myself that I'm going to do it more often. And I was just like, this just feels really good. And guess what? Pleasure is the state of receiving. I'm teaching, I have Ready to Receive, but also I have a few women in She Who Receives. And this is where these women are integrating all of the practices for aligning themselves to the energetic state of receiving. Because we learn to do more, to go outside of ourselves, to try to get love, to earn love, to be validated, for our desire to have a man in our life. And so we want the attention from the men and all of that. But the thing is that you are always creating your energetic state of receiving. So today when I was out at the pool and I was actually having fun doing some work, and then I took another dip, and then I was just laying there basking in the sun, and I was like, oh man, this is so great. Like looking at my surroundings, the bright blue sky, like the greenery. And I was just like, wow, I've really cracked the motherfucking code recently. And I just was like, God, this is so exciting. Like doing less is actually allowing me to receive more ideas for how to serve women. I'm just like receiving the downloads, because here's the thing. When you're in this state of receiving, or when you're in pleasure and play and you create this state of receiving, this high vibrational state, that is when you are connected to source, to God. This is where you receive then the source consciousness or God's provision, however you want to see it. You can see it as purely energetic, no masculine, feminine needed, or you can see it through the lens of masculine energy just being something that is provided and feminine energy as a way to receive. So if we don't think about male, female, but just think about the fact that masculine energy gives a piece of information. It gives information. It gives the next step. The feminine state of being receives that. And so this is why it's so important for women to be in a state of receiving, because you will be guided to where the man is. And right now, I just listened to a voice memo from a woman in She Who Receives, and she said, you told me to start listening to the pings. And she was like, I got done with my volunteer shift. She said, I got the ping to go to the beach. She goes, then I went to the beach because I needed to see the waves in order to know if I was going to surf today or not. And she goes, and I ran into a man who I've always been curious about chatting with. And we actually sat down and had like a 20-minute conversation, and it was really nice. And it wasn't just like a quick, hey, hi, hello that we usually have in the water, but she received this guidance of like, hey, you should go to the beach and just see what's there for, like what is there for you. And this is where you just follow the pings that you get. When you're in a state of receiving, you allow yourself to be guided. You will always be guided to what is meant for you. But this state of receiving, when we receive this information from source consciousness, this is intuition. And then this is when you get this information and then you take aligned action. That's the masculine. So the feminine is the bridge to receiving. It's the state of being. To receive the information, you have to be in that state in order to be receptive to the mass amount of energy that is available to you. It's like informational, energetic opportunities that are just all available to you. And when you can be in this state of curiosity and joy and pleasure and play, you're putting yourself in the best state to receive, and you will be guided. And it is trusting that guidance and letting go of the outcome and taking the action, and then going and taking the action and then adjusting from there, seeing what else is available to you. And then guess what my client did? She went home and she was actually like, you know what? I think I'm too tired to go surf today. I'm not just going to go because I know that there's going to be a certain man there. She was like, no, I'm going to stay home. And then she asked me like, did I take aligned action in that moment? And I said, yes, you did, because it is so important for you to listen to your body. That was the next piece of guidance. That was the next aligned action. And the thing is that I told her too, is that her energy is still working for her, because even though she didn't show up to go back out to the water where this man said, hey, I'm gonna get in the waves and see you in a bit, it actually creates intrigue. And she's not doing it on purpose, but her energy is working for her. A woman is unpredictable and mysterious. That's just how we are by nature. And her energy is still working for her. And the next time that she sees him, it might be a conversation starter of like, oh, I didn't see you back out on the water. And she'll be like, yeah, well, I listened to my body and I just wasn't feeling it that day. And that shows a man that she knows herself, that she's connected. At least the right man will see it that way. And this is something that I do, or what I was doing when I was dating, and my boyfriend knows it now about me, is that I will always tell a man when I'm like, no, I'm not going to make a plan because like for these dates, because I know that I'm expecting my period to come, that I'm going to be on my cycle, and that I always take care of myself. And men then see how you treat yourself. They then want to treat you with the same level of respect and care. But it starts with you first. You can't just expect a man to come in and know what to do. Like that, I'm sure you want a man who's going to come in and do things all right, but men do not come prepackaged perfectly, because that's actually not building your own relationship to yourself. So it's actually in service to yourself to build this relationship to your body, to allow yourself to show a man, hey, this is how I want to be treated. This is how I take care of myself. Which brings me to my next point of, we have been so disconnected from our bodies as women in society, and we've been taught to fear our bodies. We haven't been given the right information about our bodies, from sex ed specifically, of like, do you even know how your yoni works and all the parts of your yoni, your vagina, your cervix, your vulva, all of that. We've been taught to fear our bodies. We've been taught to fear our breasts. The Women in She Who Receives, they're also doing breast massage. This is also a cover and Ready to Receive if you want to grab that as well. But like, we have to create such a strong connection to our bodies, because this is where we emit our energy. And not only that, the more a woman moves, how she moves, non-linear, as in she's flowing and she's just, like creating waves with her body, because like, you're curvy for a reason. We have curves, and that's the way that we are meant to move in the world. And not only is that so attractive to a man, it feels so good for a woman. That's our natural state of being. And we can feel ourselves more. We can feel our energy. Then we can be more in tune with our body. We can be more in tune with the emotions of what feels good and what doesn't feel good, so that we can be a stronger yes and a stronger no to what is meant for us and what is not meant for us. The biggest thing that I see happening in society, in just women dating today, is that women are dating from their minds and they are not in touch with their bodies. And I was just talking to another woman the other day who was so upset about this man that she gave her time to. And once I finally heard the full story, because I knew she knew, I just was like, she always knows. A woman always knows. I've always known. A woman always knows. That she goes, I knew the first night that I was in like contact with him, interacting with him, my body said no. And she said, but I still allowed him into my life, access to my body, and she was left heartbroken. But here's the thing. She knew. And the thing is, you will absolutely have a when you know feeling when you are connected to your body. That is exactly what happened to me when I first met my boyfriend, is that not only was I not looking for him, because you don't want to be looking for a man. You can't be looking for a man, because looking for a man implies lack, implies absence of a man. And so therefore you will get more of that. Or you'll attract in the wrong man and then he'll leave, because it's just more absence, more lack. So when I met my boyfriend, I had a conversation with him. I let go of a judgment that I previously had of him, and our conversation, it just felt good. I was like, wow, that felt good. Maybe he's different than I thought he was. And then I continued to interact with him platonically, and I was like, wow, that felt good. That was easy. My body was telling me yes, but my mind, my made up ego judgments, whether it's his age or his, occupation, or, wanting everything to be perfect, or having this fantasy about like Prince Charming who's going to come in and sweep me off my feet and take me away to Bora Bora, or like whatever, like that mental ego mindset would have blocked me from allowing in a beautiful relationship where my boyfriend and I have grown together, flourished together. We are creating things together, building a podcast together, like everything that I have desired. And because I've also asked for it in our relationship and wanted to build upon, what we have and what feels good. And there's never been I've never, controlled him to stay. Like we have a podcast now about Tantra and stuff. And when I first introduced Tantra, which our podcast is called Doing Sex Differently, I told him, hey, if you don't want to do sex differently, that's okay. You don't have to stay in this relationship. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I know that there will be someone who wants to do this with me. And so love is a choice. This life is a choice. Like what we're creating is always a choice. And I'm never going to make my partner a prisoner. I want them to always have a choice, because I know that I will always align to the man who is meant for me. That I will never be without love, because I am love and I can always attract love. And the more that I, asked for what I wanted in my relationship, the more my boyfriend stepped into that and wanted that as well, and became part of we're co-creating, a vision for our life and the things that we want in it. And coming back to this is like, my mind would have told me no if I were not already listening to my body more than my mind. And so I am so thankful that I was able to prioritize how I felt over what my mind said. Oh, this looks good or this doesn't look good. I don't care what other people think about me in my relationship. I don't care what they think about my boyfriend. All I care about is me feeling good. This is my life. And there was such a good quote that someone said. Wait, I wrote it down. Oh, she said, don't live your life by other people's judgments, because at that point, it's not your life anymore. And I was like, that's exactly it. Because I have a mantra for myself that I said, I don't care about how it looks. I care about how it feels. And when I started to date like that, I don't care about how it looks. I got rid of a type. I just care about how it feels. And so putting myself in front of men and seeing how I feel. What is it that they talk about? Like there was a man I went on a date with, I don't know, sometime last year, and the way he talked about money and kids was from a very lack mindset. Oh, kids are expensive. Oh, this or that. And I was just like, no, I don't think this is in alignment with me, because I don't want to be with a partner who thinks that kids are expensive. And this man still wanted kids, but was like, kids are expensive. And I was like, I'm not here for that vibe. And then there were more things that were off about it. And I was like, okay, like I am trusting that this is not feeling in alignment with me. So I'm going to let this go. And I did. And so when you stop caring about how it looks and you prioritize how it feels through the connection of your body, you get the when you know feeling. So another note is that shortly after I was dating my boyfriend, officially dating, a couple weeks in, sorry I keep coughing. I'm drinking this bone broth right now and it has pepper in it, and it's like drying my throat out so much. So I had a friend ask me, how's it going? And I was like, it's going well. It's so easy. And it was like your body will be used to like the chase and the games and that anxious tension. And I was just like, it feels weird when it's so easy. And that was tripping me up a little bit of like, should it be harder? Like we think, this is another thing. This goes along with the conditioning. We are so conditioned to struggle. We've normalized the struggle. We've normalized the work and the effort that it takes to earn love, to earn money, to get what we want. And that is simply not true. That has to be undone, because when we actually allow ourselves connection to source through pleasure, through play, through relaxation, we actually tap in to the only work that is needed, which is work that feels good because we are taking aligned action. And of course, we're going to be stretching at the edge a little bit and kind of like playing with the like, this is like stretching me outside my comfort zone. Like, yes, that is needed for growth. But when we know that, when we acknowledge, at least for me, in my experience, when I acknowledge that like, well, I received this from Source, therefore Source wants me to bring this through. God wants me to bring this through. My job is to be the vessel to bring it through. Like, this is so clear to me now that I'm like, well, then I have no attachment to who receives it, how it's received. It's like, I know it's always panning out. It's always going to be working for me. Because if it's not working for you necessarily, it's working on you, which is just as good of a lesson. So things can come to you with less struggle. We don't need to struggle. And therefore, when you meet the right man, I hope that you have this feeling as well, the when you know, but also this sense of ease and like, holy cow, like this feels like strangely safe. And it's not thinking about, I have a client who constantly is like, when is the other shoe going to drop? And I'm like, it doesn't. It doesn't. You are always being guided. So stop fearing something that you're making up. It just gets to continue to feel good, because especially when you're dating for growth, even if there is a shoe that drops, you got you. You will pick yourself back up. You know that you're always creating your energetic state. you will always find love again, period. It's inevitable. But you have to believe that. What are you telling yourself that you are capable of? I swear, this is cracking the code. Like, feminine energy gets a bad rap because it's like, oh, it's relaxed and it's this, and like, oh, I'm too in my feminine, I'm not getting anything done. No. The feminine is productive rest, because when you're in that state, you are resting, you're allowing yourself just to be, and you are therefore then allowing yourself to receive what is truly meant for you as far as guidance. And so when you're like, oh, I'm like, if there's like a lethargic feminine, distracted, scrolling, all of that is wounded feminine. That you got to take care of, because you got to get in the state of receiving, and then you take action, you follow the guidance. And then you get in the state of receiving and you follow the action and you take the guidance. And here's the other thing. We're so used to hearing that the masculine leads. And I even have a podcast on that. The masculine leads. Does the feminine lead? Yes, the feminine does lead. And actually, I was out on a walk today and I thought about this. The feminine does go first. She like sets the direction. I always say the desire is the direction, or the desire is the destination. A couple other mentors that I follow, they say the feminine frequency goes first. Another one says the feminine sets the tone. All of these are saying the same thing. The feminine is technically leading, technically going first with this idea or this frequency or this desire. And it's the masculine that comes in and takes the action, whether it's your own masculine or it's your man. So even if you think about it too, I was thinking about like, there has to be, everybody comes from a feminine being. There has to be a womb first in order for creation ever to happen. The womb is the intention. It's the intention of what is going to be birthed. And so then a man comes in with his seed and plants his seed. And that's when creation happens. So the same happens between men and women in dating and in relationship. A woman expresses her desire. She expresses her intention. I also like to say like your vision and your values, especially when you're dating early on. And it's like, I know I want a family and kids, but you also know that you have that desire. It was placed on your heart because it's meant for you. Otherwise, you would not have the desire. You just wouldn't have it. Like there are some women who say like they don't want kids. Okay, that's their thing. Like they don't want kids. Like they know that. And so when they're dating, they know to say, hey, I actually don't want kids in this lifetime. Is that something that you're open to? Or were you hoping to be with someone who has kids? So if you do want kids, I want you to be saying it also up front. This is exactly what I did. It's like, I know I want kids. I know I want a family. I know I want a man who wants to build community, who wants to, collaborate together, who wants to explore sacred sexuality together. All of these things are things that I got more and more confident with saying up front the more I dated. And when I'm talking about more I dated, I think I've dated like less than 10 men in the past 3 years. And so even when you just are honest with yourself and you practice saying it to yourself and you're like, yeah, even the belief of like, yeah, my desire is meant for me. Yeah, I want this. Yeah, I want to be with a man who, we live in this certain location or we're going to travel the world together. When you own that desire, it's yours. You're meant for it. Now you're going to align to it. But if you don't own it and you're waiting for a man to come in and validate it, it's going to take you forever to find that man. So this is why our feminine energy is so important, is because, like I was saying, the feminine gets the bad rap for being too relaxed or passive, or she's not doing anything, therefore she's unproductive. And, We were never taught that pleasure is productive and, that desires are bad and risky and too indulgent. No, that is all so wrong. That is all to keep you out of your power, not to mention the fact that we've been disconnected from our bodies because our bodies are taboo and our period is dirty and all of these things that keep us disconnected on purpose. Society wants us disconnected so that we are not powerful, so that we do not actually know ourselves for the souls, the infinite beings that we actually are. And this is so clear to me now why it is so important to have feminine energy. And I actually, for a while, I got away from feminine energy and I was just like, oh, everything is energy. But now I see why the feminine is actually so important, because I didn't like how people were, being about feminine energy in a way that it's a way that you look, or you have to say this, or you have to act like that. No, feminine energy is about what's in alignment for you, what feels good to you. But we weren't taught to feel good in this life. We were taught to follow rules. There are no rules. The only rule, if there was one, is that you follow what feels good. So that is why feminine energy is the way to receive your man. You will always be guided. But if you are not allowing yourself beliefs, because beliefs and thoughts are the same thing. A thought over and over and over again is just a belief. But we create this thinking, feeling loop. So when we're thinking one thing, we start feeling a certain way, and then we think another thought that's similar to that feeling, and then we reinforce that feeling, and then it goes over and over and over again, which is why we have to change our thoughts and our beliefs so that we are changing how we feel. So when I tell my clients, you need to be Delulu, like you need to be walking out of the house like today's the day I could meet my man. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm so curious. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna move my body at the coffee shop because I like this song and I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. All of that is getting you into the state of receiving. And guess what? Feminine energy is all about being receptive. But we've been taught to do more, to effort, to force, to look outside of ourselves. When if we get still, we can receive. But also in movement, if you dance and move your body. I also have women do breast massage. If you allow yourself to go on a walk or just do something for pleasure's sake, because it feels good. It's about, being fully present with your food, with whatever activity that you're doing. You are allowing yourself to receive. And here's the thing, you might discount some of the guidance that you receive. You might be told to call someone. Oh, I don't have time. Okay, well, actually, what if calling that person actually opened up a door to meeting a man, or to, a friend asking you about something and you're like, well, I'm not sure, but I do know someone who knows someone. So let me get you in touch with them. And then through that interaction, you just never know what happens. It's like a domino effect. And allowing yourself to be guided and to not deny the guidance is how you will receive your man faster, with less pain in your life, not having to go through as many painful relationships, although those are also there to wake you up. So they're not a bad thing, because all of our seemingly unpleasant things that are happening in life are a reflection of us. And that's information that we can use and to integrate and be like, oh, okay. I see how I reacted there, or I see what I attracted. What part of me is allowing that in my life? Where do I need a stronger boundary, a better standard? Yeah, that allows you to shift who you are being. Then you will attract in, and you'll be a stronger match for what you actually desire when you create the boundary, when you create the standard. So these seemingly unpleasant, negative circumstances in our life are happening for you. They're happening for you to wake you up so that you can integrate the lesson. But so often what happens is we get stuck in the emotion. We get stuck in the story. Woe is me. And we don't actually integrate the lesson. And that's the biggest thing too that will hold your energetic power away from you, is when you are not actually taking responsibility and integrating the lesson. Responsibility is so freaking sexy because it actually shows that you're willing to do what you need to do in order to get what you want. And that's so hot. I love that. Because you deserve to have what you want. And you don't need to think otherwise. So, my love, this is like the pleasure paradigm is coming through. The way to access Source and God, who has the guidance for you. This is the way that you receive. And when you are connected to your body, you will know what is for you and who is for you and who is not for you based on how you feel. And when you can get out of your ego mind and let go of how it looks, that, oh, this man should be driving a certain type of car, or he should have X amount of money in the bank. The most important thing, if you're here listening to this podcast, is for you to break your patterns and conditioning that you've been holding in your lineage, so that when we birth children, we are allowing them to grow up in a family home that knows emotional intelligence, that knows that pleasure and joy and relaxation are the key to getting what you want, are the key to abundance, are the keys to love. That hustling and forcing and grinding is not the way. That's a survival mode. So we are birthing the next generation by who we are becoming right now. We're birthing the next generation into thriving, into being more infinite beings who are aligned with like the 5D frequency of love, of joy. It's a higher level of consciousness. We are birthing and allowing a higher level of consciousness by how we treat ourselves and how we are going to treat our offspring. It's so powerful. And it gets to be this easy. Right now, what I'm fully integrating is that it gets to be this easy, that I am trusting that pleasure provides. Because I have been looking outside of myself, and this is especially true in my business. It's like, oh, I had this down for dating and all the things, and I was like, oh yeah, that's great. But then when it came to business, I was like, oh, but there's all these business rules, and you have to be professional, and you have to be this, and have to be that. And I'm like, no, there actually are no rules. Actually, my authentic self that feels good, that's what needs to come through. And that I can take inspiration from others who choose to teach a strategy, but that doesn't have to be true for me. Not 100%. There's probably a version of what they're saying that will work for me to a certain extent. And people are out here to expand us, to show us what's possible. But we have to take it. You know how they say, take what works for you and leave the rest? You don't have to take someone's 5-step framework the whole time. This is why, too, I will never tell you what to say. I will only ever tell you what feels good for you and how to express yourself from a feminine way of communication, of telling someone how you feel, not what they should do or shouldn't do, or blaming someone or pointing fingers. That's not effective communication for a woman, especially to a man who cares about her and who cares about her comfort, and a man who then wants to show up for her. Excuse me, this pepper is killing me. Show up for her and provide for her from a place of desire, not because she needs him to. So when you let go of that control and you can express just yourself authentically and how you feel, that's what speaks to a man who then wants to support you in feeling good. Ooh, honey. All right, my love. This is it. And we are cracking the code next week. I'm cracking the code on love. Because no one tells us how the rules of this matrix work, especially with emotions and energy and all of it. And so I'm helping you crack the code next week. It's on Tuesday, March 25th, is an energetic activation. So if you're listening to this before then, be sure and sign up for the energetic activation. It's called Love Code, cracking the code so that you can receive the man that you dream of, the love that you desire in your life. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to you and who you are being. And this is what it is to turn on your energy, is to take this conditioning, take the things that we have learned that we need to struggle, we need to do more, we need to look outside of ourselves and cut that out. Well, not even cut it out, but we get to choose to alchemize it, which is cutting it out and turning it into, oh, what am I actually going to do here that feels good? Instead of believing that there's no good men out there, I'm going to believe that there are great men all around me. And how am I going to take these, hurtful lessons from men, and how am I going to alchemize them into my own power so that I create my own boundaries and standards, knowing that I am worthy and deserving of the love that I desire? That's how you become a match. You need to turn on your energy so that you become the match to the love that you desire. Alchemizing your energy. Because again, energy is neither created nor destroyed. You have all the energy, but it's stuck in stories that are working against you, limiting beliefs, pain, old emotions, past experiences that you keep replaying in your head. That energy is not working for you. It's working against you. It's holding you back. It's slowing you down. But when you can alchemize that into power, into pleasure, into joy, it becomes more powerful. The energy becomes more powerful. It works for you. It works fast because those are high vibrating frequencies. Oh my gosh, I could go on about this all day long. Anyway, if you're desiring one-on-one support for receiving your man this year, be sure and DM me on Instagram. Let me know that you're interested in one-on-one support, because I love supporting women on a close proximity basis. We get to know each other intimately so that I can spot your blind spots for you, so that I can help you rewrite your story, so I can help you alchemize your emotions, because all of that is what changes your energetic frequency so fast that you inevitably become a match for a man. This is how you collapse time. The faster you do the work, there is no rush, but it's not the faster you do the work. It's like the more that you grow your awareness, and you understand how your energy is working for you, and how you give yourself this permission to be this feminine, fulfilled, full of pleasure version of you. That's the version of you that receives a man, because you are in love, you're in joy, you're in a pleasurable state of being, that it's inevitable that you will receive a man. All right, my love, that's all I have for you today. This is the start of an epic journey for the rest of this year. I am so excited. Happy spring equinox, and I will see you soon.